You're a cool kid, we are cool kids. Are you a cool kid? Every day I want it, I need to drink lots of it. Full of fruit, vitamin C, give me lots of it. My imagination is growing and so am I. I'm getting big, so give me fruit of cool kids. It's so juicy, so I could touch the sky.
Become a cool kid now by visiting www.fruitycoolkids.com.
For the everyday lowest prices on all grocery items, trust Low Cost Supermarket for the widest variety of quality products at low prices. Freshly picked fruits and vegetables, healthy products for your well-being, high quality meat cuts, and a warm and friendly service. Low Cost Supermarket, Sun and Main Road, Cunupia.
Good evening, Assalamu alaikum, and welcome to C Results on IBN TV. And you are also watching us on the IBN TV Facebook page, as well as the C Results Facebook page. And in a couple of days, you might be watching this as well on our YouTube channel, C Results. All right. So my name is Sir Ijaz, and welcome to the program today. Today being Monday, we are doing mathematics as well as English language arts. All right. And as is our tradition, we are going to begin today's session by looking at our top performers for the quizzes that were due last week, Friday at 11:59 p.m., all right? Every week, we try to give a math, English language arts, and creative writing quiz or assignment, all right? And they are timed, they simulate that of an exam, basically, all right? So you're time constrained, you have to do it in one sitting, there's no pausing and leaving and coming back and so on, all right? And it's always based on the content that we did for that week, and it helps you as a student to improve, all right? Of course, there's nothing wrong if you don't get all the marks, if you don't always get it all right, because the answers are provided for you at the end of those quizzes, all right? So, of course, once you've done your quiz, feel free to view the results. You get your results instantaneously, except for the creative writing, which we actually have to sit and read and then mark, all right? So how have we been doing in this last week? Well, basically, we are now up to 571 students in our Edmodo class, and we will share the details with you parents and guardians about how your child can register for our free web class, all right? About a quarter of the parents are still actively monitoring the student participation. All right, we had 98 submissions for the English language arts quiz this week, which was based on pronouns. All right, well, reflexive and indefinite to be specific, and how the agreement between those as subjects with verbs. All right, and we had 81% of the students passing with a 74% average. Okay, we had a lot of students who did really well in this one, and we had, less students doing not so well. So the average for the entire class, it's not that bad, all right? But of course, this is just the class average. Your individual, your child award may have done way better than that, or perhaps they may have done a little bit worse. So you have to take the initiative to look at those results, and it will inform you as to where you should be directing more of your attention when you're studying and revising, all right? So we had 106 students who submitted the mathematics quiz, which was based on geometry, all right, and we had 67% of the students pass with a 55% average, all right. So this is a bit better than, we just came out before this with the conversions of units in the metric system, all right. It was a little bit better, but of course there is room for improvement here, all right. We want that average, class average, to be way higher. Of course, we still had students who got full marks or near full marks, all right, but it's basically just about learning the properties of the various solids, all right, and we gave you all some very useful formulas that you can use in determining faces, edges, vertices, and so on, all right, for both prisms and pyramids, all right, and we also dealt with the special cases of the cone and the cylinder as well. So if this is all new stuff to you, if you haven't done it before, all of our videos that we've done in the past, they are available on the Facebook page under the videos tab, all right, that's the results on Facebook, and they are also available for you on YouTube, all right, so you can, probably it's a bit easier to navigate the YouTube channel because everything has, titles that are very explanatory and then descriptions that tell you exactly what content you can find under each video, all right. So on Saturday, we also put up 3 more pieces of work that are due on this Friday at 11:59 p.m. We have quizzes in English and math, and we also have another creative writing assignment. And of course, you can look forward to tomorrow, and sometimes even on a Thursday, we read the creative writing pieces. Especially, we like to, use those submissions that were well done. And, as an example for our students out there, your fellow students, that is, to aspire to. And then we also sometimes share those pieces that weren't so good, without highlighting names and so on, to show you exactly what you ought not to do, all right? So one thing that we find a lot of the times, and all across the board, is that students, they are very, very anxious to do the work, which is good, that is commendable in itself, but then they don't read instructions properly, so sometimes we have creative writing assignments submitted that's totally off topic, all right, or just very slightly related to the topic, all right. It isn't in the majority, but we need to look out for that, all right. Parents, guardians, and students, all right, please always remember this is an exam that we are prepping you for, all right, primarily. Of course, all the knowledge here will serve you in life to come beyond the SEA exam, but right now we are focusing on that exam etiquette, that exam mode, and you have to be reading your instructions very carefully. All right. So who are our top, 100% getting performers in this week's quizzes? Well, in order to qualify for this, you have to have not lost any marks at all in our quizzes, something that's not so easy to achieve actually, all right, in the English language arts and in the mathematics. So we have Angelina Andrews, who is returning, all right. We have Ishan Gangaram, who has been a fixture now on this list, as well as Zaria James, all right, and Faye Rambaran, who has also been here on our top performers before, all right. So the competition, it's very stiff at the top there, all right. We have a lot of people, they fall off for a week by a mark, they may have lost a mark or two, and then they're always climbing and fighting to get back into those top positions, all right. And again, this is just a motivation for you. Of course, we know, a lot of you like seeing your names being put up and so on, understandably so. But if you aren't able to achieve this, that is okay, because once you are striving towards it, we expect that you are going to put in a lot of effort, and therefore your performances will improve as time goes along, and that is what makes you a real winner, all right, which is commitment and perseverance, okay? And of course, you never know, you might just score total on 1 week or more than 1 week, and your name will be up here as well, all right? But we don't only highlight those, but of course, congratulations to all of these. We also highlight those people who fell short by a mark in either one of the English language arts or mathematics quizzes. So we have a number of people here who just barely missed out, and if you're actively following us, all right, you would notice that some of these people have been in the 100%, top performers in the past, and I expect them to return as well. All right, we even have some people here, whose name haven't been here before, and they have been with us for some time now. So that shows that they are putting in the work and that they are trying to improve themselves. All right. So we have Tiana Andrews, Dakari F, Toby Ilozurike. All right, this is somebody that's been with us for a while now, that's doing the quizzes over and over, and I was very, very delighted to see this name come up, just for our honorable mentions. All right, we have Chris Maraj, Jonathan Patrick, Devon Powder, somebody that calls us, Haley Ramkisoon, Joseph Ross, Caitlin Sunarine, who is another one that came in late, but is consistently up there, as well as Jonathan Sinanan. So congratulations to all of you guys. Keep working hard, all right? And of course, we appreciate those of you who call us regularly as well, all right? It helps us to get to know you better. And of course, we had our creative writers, and these are the people who got, very nearly 100% in the creative writing, all right? And this assignment was basically testing the knowledge of dialogue, all right? So we'll have some of those dialogues that you would have written on the show tomorrow, all right? God willing. So congrats to Joshua Barrow, Sebastian Eccles, Ishan Gangaram, Zaria James, Shania Martin, and Caitlin Sunarine. And you'll notice that a fair few of these names were also on our top 100 performers, as well as in our honorable mentions, all right? So we have some students that are really excelling across the board, all right? And we have high hopes and aspirations for you, and I'm sure you do for yourself as well. That's why you're consistently being here. And again, I want to say congrats to all these students who have been, for the first time up here this week, or knocking on the door. You're getting closer. Keep working. Don't give up, all right? So now we're on to the mathematics aspect of it, all right? And last week, Thursday, we began looking at percentages, all right? So again today, we're going to be taking a lot of your calls, all right? We're not taking anything for granted, because we know that a lot of our callers, they are very confident, they tend to be the brighter ones, all right? And nothing is wrong with that, it makes our show very interesting and very exciting. But we have a lot of students who are at home, probably they might be a bit more shy to call. So we're trying to do as many worked examples as possible, all right? It might seem a little bit repetitive, but, seeing those examples over and over again might be just what somebody who is struggling a little bit needs in order to get it, all right? So, and of course, in so doing, we can take more of your calls for those of you who are sometimes a little grumpy that you probably didn't get through on one day or the other, all right? So we're in the number strand of the paper, and we're in section 1. So we're dealing with the percentage questions that come in section 1 of the paper, all right? And a couple of the other strands, we are delving into section 2. We already began. And the reason that it's taking so long is because number has the most number of questions, all right? Out of 45 questions, there are 22 questions that are based on the number strand in the entire SEA paper, and there are 10 such questions in section 1. And of course, number covers a whole host of various topics, all right? And we have been doing them all one at a time, all right? But we tried not to stick to one strand and go all the way through, so that we can cover as many topics as we can. Of course, SEA is very, very near now. All right, so we may not be able to complete the entire syllabus because of when we started, which was in November, but hopefully you would have been exposed to so many different topics and so many different types of questions that it still would be very beneficial to you as a tool in studying, and we hope to continue, with our Standard 4 students in the future who will have, a complete course to go with, all right? So, percentages. We mentioned, and I'm going to mention it again because we didn't complete the topic, all right? So just to get us back in that frame of mind, it comes from the Latin per centum, and centum, it means 100, all right? So percent, therefore, means per 100, all right? And we encountered, of course, the percentage sign, and that's highlighted here. And of course, most of us would have been familiar with this sign by now. All right, so percentage values are usually accompanied by that sign. And we've learned that percentages can also be represented as decimals and fractions. All right, so far we've really looked at the fraction aspect of it. Today we are going to look more at the decimal aspect of it. But we will do a very short recap of the fraction part, all right, because of course this, well, we did give some questions on percentages on the quiz that was posted on Saturday, but this coming Saturday, God willing, there will be even more questions on percentages since we will have covered the entire topic by then, all right, at least as it pertains to section 1 of the SEA paper. So if the denominator of a fraction is 100, all right, then the numerator, we said, is the percentage itself. There's no need to really work anything further, all right? If the denominator of the fraction is not 100, we basically have to find an equivalent fraction that has that denominator of 100, and the numerator then, therefore, would become our percentage, all right? Of course, it isn't always possible to do that with certain denominators, you know, just to convert it to 100 by multiplying by a whole number. But the section 1 type questions will not ask you to do those types of fractions, all right? So that's why we're emphasizing the ones that are possible to convert to 100, okay? And of course, I know the students out there know exactly what I'm talking about, all right? So parents, don't worry, we are explaining for you as well. So, like we said, we had 2 grids here, which demonstrates the fraction aspect of it. Both of these grids are comprised of 100 smaller squares, all right? In other words, it's a whole square that's been broken up into 100 equal parts, all right? And again, if you're a bit shaky on the concept of fractions, we have videos that you can find on our Facebook page and much more easily on our YouTube channel on the fractions work that we did so far, right? We haven't done all of fractions, but we've done comparing fractions and equivalent fractions, basically all of proper fractions, but without the addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division as yet, right? So hopefully we'll be coming to that soon. All right, so in this first square over here, we can see that 12 of those smaller squares are shaded, all right? So we therefore have 12. We have 12 out of 100 parts being shaded, all right? And because that denominator is already 100, we can see that 12% of the square is shaded, all right? Some of our callers told us that we could have multiplied 12 over 100 by 100 over 1, and that is correct, all right? But because it's already over 100, there is no need to do that, really, all right? Because it's out of 100, we can see that it is already percentage form, all right? So the second square there, we have 2 rows completely shaded as well as 3 squares in the one above it, all right? So we have a total of 23 of those squares being shaded. So therefore, we have 23% of the big square being shaded. All right, so, and then of course, we learned that we can, you know, basically, like in using our knowledge of equivalent fractions, which is something we did before, we can convert between, you know, common fractions and percentages, all right? So here we have a square where 1 part of 4 is shaded, all right? And if we wanted to make that into a percentage, all we have to do is to make this denominator underneath into 100, all right? And we learned how to do that, as we mentioned before, all right? So what number multiplied by 4 gives us 100? It's actually 25. So we have to multiply, you know, the 4 as well as the 1 on top by 25, all right? Whatever we do underneath, we must also do on top. So we'll end up with 25 over 100, which is equal to 25%. Now that we know our denominator, all right, is 100, we can just safely say that the percentage represented is 25. And how we did that was to multiply both the denominator and the numerator by 25. So I hope everybody is with us so far. All right, and we did a number of questions practicing between converting from fractions to percentages and percentages to fractions. And we ended up with this question, which we didn't really have a lot of time to explain properly. So I'm going to do that now, and then we'll move on to the other aspect of it, all right, which is converting to the decimals. And so we have here a rectangle that is broken up into 24 equal parts. All right, how do we know that? We can see that this rectangle is 6 by 4, all right? 6 across, 4 down. So 6 multiplied by 4, that is 24 squares in total. And we want to know how many more squares need to be shaded so that 75% of the figure is shaded in total, all right? So we learned or we understood that 75% is the same as 75 over 100, all right, which can be broken down into 3/4, all right, by dividing the numerator and the denominator by 25, all right. So this is our fraction in its lowest terms here, all right. This is 75% as a fraction in its lowest terms is 3/4, and some of these, you know, it's really handy to know them by heart, all right. Things like a quarter and a half and 3/4 and so on. It's very good to know them as decimals and as percentages and so on because they frequently occur, all right? And now we know that we have 24 of these squares within our rectangle. We basically have to figure out how much needs to be shaded in order for there to be 3/4 of the rectangle shaded. All right, and you know, of course, we're going to do fractions, multiplication, division, and so on in more depth in the near future. All right, but a lot of what we are really trying to help our standard fives now that we are running short on time. So some of them are already quite proficient at doing this. All right, so for our standard fours, if you know if you're a little rusty, that's okay, all right? We're going to cover it in depth very soon as well, and we'll repeat it as need be with time, all right? So in order to have 75% of this rectangle shaded, we need to have 18 of these squares within the rectangle shaded, all right? And how many do we currently have shaded? We have 6 squares shaded. So basically, we need to know how many more must be shaded in order to have 18, all right? And that, my friends, is just a simple subtraction now. We already have 6, and we want to have 18. So we subtract 6 from 18, and we end up with 12 squares. All right, so now that we had a little more time to explain it properly, I hope that everyone at home, you know, understood this particular question. And this is an SEA type question, all right? So you realize that it's very much applied knowledge, all right? They give you problems and you have to use your critical thinking skills as well as your reasoning and have that understanding of the mathematics behind it in order to solve these problems, all right? And that's really nice because that's how it works in the real world, all right? You don't just walk around solving math problems, you know, like straight math problems without any context, all right? There's usually some context to apply the maths that you know in real life as well, all right? So this is good practice for that. So how do we convert percentages to decimal fractions, all right? So I'm gonna put those numbers up for you on the screen now, and you know, you'll will have an opportunity to call and help me very soon, all right? And this is very nice because recently we did those questions on conversions in the metric system. We did length and we did mass, all right? and we had to multiply and divide and so on by those powers of 10, all right, by 10, 100, 1,000, and like that. And we had to learn how to move our decimal points, how to add zeros as necessary, and so on. All right, so you have here another application of this, all right, where you'll have to move decimal points and so on, all right. So, you know, I see that the lines are buzzing already, but we haven't put up a question as yet, all right. We have to know that when changing the percentages to decimal fractions, all right, we basically have to divide by 100. And as we learned, all right, when you are dividing by 100, you have to shift your decimal point 2 places to the left, all right? So here we have a number of percentages which we need to convert, all right? So I'll just go ahead and do the first one before I accept the calls, all right? So we have 1% represented as a fraction as 1 over 100. All right, I hope everyone agrees with me there. All right, so basically we are dividing 1 by 100, so we have to move our decimal point 2 places to the left. So remember, we said that there's this invisible decimal point there for whole numbers, all right? And we move it once and twice, and when we moved it that second time, we actually have to add a 0 over there, all right? And then we are left with our decimal point, and we put our 0 before our decimal point. So basically, 1% is 0.01, all right? And again, I just want to use this opportunity here to, you know, emphasize something that we did a long time ago, which was on place value. All right, we learned that, you know, basically when we have any number really, we can determine the place value and the actual value of each digit or each numeral with each number within our numeral, all right, or each digit within our numeral. So looking at 0.01 here, which is the example that we just had, all right? We remember that this here, after to the left of our decimal point, is our ones, all right? Well, we don't write these extra zeros here, but these would be in the place of our tens and our hundreds, and we can go on and on, all right, to our thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and so on. And we learned that that's in this direction, all right? And we learned that to the right of our decimal point, okay, the first place after our decimal point occupies the value, or has the value of tenths, all right, T-E-N-T-H-S, or 1 over 10, and then after that, we have our hundredths, all right? Our hundredths, or 1 over 100, all right? So understand that 1% is 1/100th, all right? 1/100th, which is 0.01, all right? Because we have, you know, nothing here. We have no ones. We have no tenths, but we do have 1/100th, all right? So that's another way to think of how we are expressing our fraction as a decimal, all right? So that all ties back into the very first episode that we did on C results, which was on place value. So please try to, you know, appreciate how all of these topics are related to each other. So I have a caller on the line. Good evening, caller. Welcome to C Results on IBN TV.
Hello, good evening.
Hi, good evening. And who am I speaking with?
Samia Archibald.
Welcome to the program. Can you help me to convert 6% to a decimal fraction?
Yes, I can.
Go ahead.
Okay, so first you need to put 6 over 100 because you're dealing with percent.
Right.
And then you move the the decimal place. 2 places.
2 places to the
The right. No, sorry, the left.
the left. All right, very good. And what would that give us?
0.06.
Move it once, twice, and yes, you are very correct. It gives us 0.06. All right? So
Okay.
thank you so much, caller. So I like how that caller just said that we put 6 over 100 because we are dealing with percentages. Yes, that's the idea that we want to bring home to you. All right? When we're dealing with percentages, we are dealing with something out of 100. So very good, caller. All right? So we have another problem here to work, which is 15%. So I have another caller on the line. Good evening, caller. Welcome to See Results on IBN TV.
Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon. And who am I speaking with?
Zachary Boswin.
Okay, welcome to our program. And can you tell me how to convert 15% to a decimal fraction, please?
You put 15 over 100.
15 over 100, yes.
Then after you divide 15 by 100.
Right.
Then after you move the decimal places, 2 places to the left.
Okay,
And it gets 0.15.
very good. Right, so we get 0.15.
15.
Thank you so much for that call. You are absolutely right. All right, we have 0.15. And notice that unlike the first two, we actually have a number occupying that tenths position after the decimal point. All right, because we have 15 over 100, all right, which is 1/10 and 5/100. All right, 15 over 100 can also be thought of as 1/10 and 5/100, and we can see it represented here according to our place value chart. All right, so what about 20%? Good evening, caller. Welcome to See Results on IBN TV.
Hello,
Hi, and who am I speaking with?
Naomi Mohammed.
Welcome, Naomi. And Naomi, can you help me to convert 20% to a decimal fraction?
Yes.
Okay, Naomi, go ahead.
So first you have to put it over 100 because all percents are over 100.
Right.
And then you move the decimal point to the
Yeah.
left.
How many places?
2.
All right, and what will that give
There
you?
are 2 zeros in 100. And you will
Right.
get 0.20.
Okay, very good. Thank you so much, Naomi. So Naomi just said something very important, right? Which, of course, we've mentioned before, which is we are moving the point to, there's 2 places to the left, and the big giveaway for how many places we need to move it is basically by the number of zeros in 100, right? If we were dividing by 1,000, we'd move it 3 places because 1,000 has 3 zeros, and so on, right? If we divide it by 10, we'd only have to move it 1 place to the left. All right, and again, when we're dividing, we move to the left, and when we are multiplying, we move to the right, okay? So this is 0.20, and of course, you know, we need not actually write that 0 after the 2, so we can write this as 0.2, all right? So 2/10 is the same as 20/100, all right? So I have another call on the line. Good evening, caller. Welcome to See Results on IBN TV.
Hi, evening.
Hi, evening. Who am I speaking with?
Nicholas.
Hey, welcome, Nicholas. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, sir.
And what about 45%, Nicholas?
45%, 0.45 or 0.45 because the 0 really has no value, so you can leave out the 0.
All right, so 45 over
100 divided by 100, and that will give you 0.45 or 0.45.
All right, excellent work, Nicholas.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So I know that at this level, you know, your teachers, your examiners, and so on, they like to see if there's no whole number, at least 1 0 before the decimal point, all right? So, you know, there's absolutely nothing wrong with writing that 0 before the decimal point, but Nicholas is correct. is 0.45 conveys the same data, right? Still 0.45 or 0.45, it means the same thing. All right, so like we said, like we promised, we are giving you a lot of opportunities here to call us and to also get in that practice and to benefit your fellow viewers and students by them seeing many examples, all right? More examples, but it's better for your understanding, all right? So we have 75%, 90%, 72%, 36%, and 3% to work out still. I have a caller on the line. Good evening, caller. Welcome to See Results on IBN TV. Hi, good day, caller.
Hello,
Hi, and who am I speaking with?
Andrea Liverpool.
Hey, welcome, Andrea. So can you tell me what is 75% as a decimal?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Firstly, you put 45 over 100 because it is 8%.
Right. And then what?
Then after you do that, you move the decimal, you move it 2 spaces left.
Yes. And that gives us what?
0.45.
All right, so the question is 75, all right? All right, but no problem. So you move the decimal point 2 places to the left, and we are going to end up with 0.75. Thank you so much for that, caller. All right, and again, recently we were discussing, I think it was during the measurement, the conversion of units and so on, that we needed to learn the decimal form of some common fractions, such as a quarter, 1/2, and 3/4, all right? And we learned that 75% is basically the same as 3/4, all right? If we use our knowledge of equivalent fractions, and see here that 75%, which is the same as 3/4, you know, in terms of a fraction, gives us a decimal form of 0.75, all right? So I have another caller on the line. Good evening, caller. Welcome to See Results on IBN TV.
Hello,
Hi, and who am I speaking with?
Nathaniel.
Welcome, Nathaniel. Nathaniel, what is 90% as a decimal fraction?
90 over 100.
Right.
90 over 100.
Go ahead, Nathaniel.
2 places.
Yeah.
To the left.
Okay.
And you get 0.90.
All right. All right, Nathaniel. Thank you so much for your call and for your answer. All right, so we got 0.90, and as we said, we don't have to write that 0 after the 9, so it is 0.9. All right, so again, callers, we just want to remind you or request you that when you call in, of course, please lower the volume on your television sets and listen to us on the phone, all right? So what about 72%? I have another caller on the line. Good evening, caller. Welcome to See Results on IBN TV.
Good evening.
Hi, and who am I speaking with?
Jacob.
Okay, welcome to See Results. And can you give me 72% as a decimal fraction?
72% is equal to 72 over 100, which is also equal to 0.72 as a decimal fraction.
All right, 0.72. All right, so I think we basically have it there. What about 36%? You want to help me do that one?
Yeah.
Go ahead. What is 36%?
36% is 36 over 100. And if you move the decimal point twice to the left, you'll give you 0.36, which is also 0.36.
All right, excellent. Thank you so much, caller. All right, so I'll give one person more the opportunity to do 3%, All right, so we are back to a percentage with just one digit in the whole number there. All right, so good evening, caller. Welcome to See Results on IBN TV. Hi, good day, caller.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, and who am I speaking with?
Ayodele Anilu.
Okay, welcome to our program. And can you
Thank you.
tell me what is 3% as a decimal fraction?
Okay, 3% as a decimal fraction will be 0.03 because if you divide 3 by 100, you'll move it to, according to how many zeros the number has, which is 2, and you'll move it 2 places to the left, and there are no whole numbers after the point, so just put a 0.
All right, excellent. Thank you so much for that confident and correct answer, all right? So we moved our decimal point twice, and we ended up with 0.03. All right, so callers and viewers, I know that that's a lot of basically repeating the same process over and over, but as they say, practice makes perfect. And we've learned that even though, especially when we did those length conversion exercises and our mass conversion exercises, that as much practice as we got on here, a lot of students still, when they have to do it, in that confined time, with that focus, and they are being questioned, and they have to remember how much to move the decimal points by and so on. Thankfully with the percentages, you're basically just moving it twice because of the 100, all right? But with the length and the mass conversion, when they had to do milli and kilo and centi and so on, and divide and multiply, it can get a bit confusing. I'm sure that there are even still a lot of adults, a lot of parents and guardians at home there that are watching this and are being, they are thankful for this reminder because it helps them to help their charges, all right? So that was a lot of practice, and we hope to see you all do very well at the weekend when we give these questions, all right? So I'm going to take a very short break now for about a minute or two, and I'll rejoin you, and we are going to be converting now from decimal fractions into percentages, and that should take us to the end of today's segment, all right? So do join us. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a couple of minutes.
Shiklisha Limited, the Caribbean's largest manufacturers of plain and printed paper bags, leaders in plastic bags, vermicelli, split peas powder, and greaseproof paper, ideal for doubles, french fries, and sandwiches. Supplying stores nationwide. For quality products, trust Shiklisha Limited, 665-3336.
Good evening, assalamu alaikum, and welcome back to See Results on IBN TV, streaming on the IBN TV Facebook page as well as our See Results Facebook page, all right? So we are doing mathematics today. We are well into our foray into percentages, all right? So last episode on Thursday, we did converting from percentages to fractions, from fractions to percentages. And today we are doing percentages to decimals and decimals to percentages. So we just looked at how to convert from a percentage to a decimal, all right? We basically put the percent over 100, all right, the actual value of the percent over 100, and we are dividing basically by 100, so we are moving our decimal point 2 places to the left, all right? So I hope everyone, they got that practice in and that they'll be, sure to apply this when they're doing their SCA exam and their practice tests and so on at school. All right, but what about if we're doing the opposite now? We are converting from decimal fractions to percentages, and what we have to do is basically the opposite. All right, instead of dividing by 100, we are going to multiply by 100. And instead of shifting the decimal point to the left, when we divide, we are going to multiply, so we are going to move the decimal point to the right instead, all right? So pretty straightforward. And with that, again, we are going to open up the lines to you all, and you can call and you can assist. We have a lot of questions, just like the last segment, so those of you who are eager to call us, you should, hopefully be able to get through today. All right, so we have our first decimal, which is 0.02, and we want to express this as a percentage. So if you know how to do that, remember we are doing the opposite. We are multiplying by 100, which means we are shifting our decimal point to the right. Okay, feel free to call us and give us your assistance, all right? So I have a caller on the line. Good evening, caller. Welcome to See Results on IBN TV.
Hi, good evening.
Hey, welcome, Nicholas.
Yes, this is Nicholas.
So how do we convert 0.02 to a percentage?
Alright, so you say 0.02, right?
Yeah.
Times it by 100 by moving the point 2 places to the right, and you'll get 2%.
2%. Excellent work, Nicholas.
Good.
All right, so that's 2%. And again, to bring it back to our place value lesson, right? Where is this 2? It is in the the hundredths position, which is the second position to the right after the decimal point, all right? So this basically tells us that this 2 is 2 hundredths, or 2 over 100. And as we said before, once we have a fraction with the denominator being 100, the numerator is automatically our percentage, all right? So decimals, fractions, place value, everything, it is all coming together with this particular exercise, all right? So I have another caller on the line. Good evening, caller. Welcome to See Results on IBN TV.
Hi.
Hi, and who am I speaking with?
Lionel.
I welcome Lionel. So can you give me 0.14 as a percentage?
It will be 14% because 0.14 multiplied by 100 equals 14%.
14%. Thank you so much, Lionel. You are very correct. All right. So again, 0.14, there's 1/10 and 4 hundredths, or 14 hundredths, and that is 14%. All right. I have another call on the line. Good evening, caller. Welcome to See Results. Hi, good day, caller.
Hello?
Hi, and who am I speaking with?
Jeremy Khan.
Welcome, Jeremy. So can you convert 0.59 to a percentage for me?
Yeah, 0.59 times 100 also gives you 59%.
59%. Thank you very much. You are absolutely right. All right. Do I have another caller to help me with 0.63? Good afternoon, caller. Welcome to See Results on IBN TV.
Evening.
Hi, and who am I speaking with?
Brianna Backer.
Hey, welcome, Brianna. How are you?
I'm good.
All right. So, Brianna, 0.63 as a percentage. How do we do that?
You multiply 0.63 by 100 and you will get 63%.
All right. Excellent. Thank you so much, Brianna.
You're welcome.
All right. So, Brianna has been with us on Edmodo from almost the very inception. All right. So, it's very nice to have her on the program. All right, we have 0.1 as a percentage now. Good evening, caller. Welcome to See Results on IBN TV.
Yeah.
Hi, and who am I speaking with?
Navita.
Welcome to the program. So can you convert 0.1 to a percentage for me, please?
Yes. 0.1 multiplied by 100
Yeah.
will be 10%.
10%. Excellent. So we moved our decimal place how many times?
You move it 2 times.
2 times. All right. So thank you so much for your assistance. All right. So that is 10%. And this particular one is the first there where we only have a digit in the tenths place value. All right. And of course, when we are moving, we remember that when we are moving our decimal point, all right, we had to move it once. Okay, there are no more numbers to hop over. So when we move it a second time, or a third or a fourth time if it was necessary, we have to add a 0 for each additional time we move it, all right? So that's how come we end up with 10% and not 1%. Very important to note. All right, so we're going to keep the momentum going. 0.6 as a percentage. What is the answer there? So we have a couple more, 0.6, 0.06, 0.8, 0.99, and 0.77. Good evening, caller. Welcome to See Results on IBN TV.
Hi, good evening.
Hi, good evening. And who am I speaking with?
Jacob.
Welcome, Jacob. So, Jacob, can you help me convert 0.6 from a decimal to a percentage?
Yes, you move the decimal point twice to the right.
Yeah.
And you have you put a 0 as a placeholder.
Very good. So, what is the final
Which
answer?
will give you 60%.
Excellent, 60%. So, stay on the line with me and let's do something that very much resembles this last one. What about 0.06 as a percentage?
You move the decimal point twice to the right, which
Yeah.
will give you 0.06. I mean, 6%.
6%. All right. Thank you so much for your help. All right. So we have 3 remaining. I'll take another call. Good evening, caller. Welcome to See Results. Hello?
Yes, hello?
Hi, good day. So can you please lower the volume on your television set? And who am I speaking with today? Caller? Hello, caller? All right, so I seem to have lost that caller. All right, so 0.8. Again, it's just like the example above with 0.6. We have to move our decimal point 2 times, and we're going to end up with 80%. All right, and I have a caller on the line. Good evening, caller. Welcome to See Results on IBN TV.
Okay.
Hi, and who am I speaking with?
Andy.
Okay, welcome to the program. Can you give me 0.99 or 0.99 as a percentage?
Yes.
Go ahead.
It will be 99, 0.99 multiplied by 100.
All right. And that is how much percent? So that, yeah, go ahead. All right, so that is 99%. And for our final question, good evening, caller. Welcome to See Results on IBN TV.
Hi, evening.
Hi, welcome back, Nicholas.
Hi. Okay, for the last one, right?
Yeah.
0.77, right? Times 100, moving point 2 places to the right, and that's 77%.
All right, excellent. So, Nicholas, do you want to help me with a tougher question?
Pardon?
Do you want to help me with a tougher question?
Yeah.
All right, so let's take a look at this question here on the board, right?
Yeah.
We have 4 values here on the board. A quarter, 0.5, 80%, and 3/10. And we have to write this in descending order. All right, how would you go about answering this question, Nicholas?
All right, so this is my approach of doing this, right?
Okay.
So what I will do, so since you have 0.5 at 80%, I will change 1 quarter, right, to 0.25 because a quarter is equal to 0.25.
Right.
And 80% is equal to 0.8 and 3/10 is equal to 0.3. So therefore, I will say 0.5 just now, 0.8, which is the largest.
Right.
Then I go to 0.5, which is a half.
Right.
And 3/10, which is 0.3.
Right.
And a quarter, which is 0.25.
All right. Excellent, excellent, excellent work, Nicholas. Thank you so much, right?
Okay, you're welcome, sir.
I had Nicholas on the line there, and I knew he was the man to handle this particular problem in the limited time that we have, right? So there are actually two other ways that we could have looked at this problem. All right, we could have converted all of them into fractions, or we could have converted all of them into percentages. And I am going to do that for you on Thursday when we continue with mathematics, all right? So this was Nicholas's approach, was to convert all of them into decimals. All right, so a quarter, all right, remember we said that a quarter is 0.25 as a decimal form. That's something that we asked you to learn off. And of course, you could have converted it, all right, to a percentage, all right, just to stick with the theme of today's lesson, all right, and got 25 over 100, which is the same as 0.25 because we moved the decimal place 2 places to the left, all right. Of course, 0.5 is already 0.5 in decimal form, all right. 80% is the same as 80 over 100, all right. So we have to move the decimal point 2 places to the left, and we get 0.8, as Nicholas rightly said, and 3/10, okay. We are dividing by 10 now, all right. So we're not dividing by 100. We only have to move our decimal point once to get the 0.3, all right. So the numbers or the decimals with the higher values in the 10th position will have to go first, because descending means from the largest to the smallest, all right? Descending means largest to smallest. So 0.8 would occupy that first spot. Then we have 0.5, then we have 0.3, and then we have 0.25, all right? And again, I'll give you all the alternate solutions to this on Thursday's program, all right, when we continue with mathematics, all right? So parents, if you haven't yet registered your child for our Edmodo web class, please visit www.edmodo.com and enter the access code 6KJQ3Y, and that will give your child or your ward access to our weekly quizzes and assignments, as well as to a community of students that really help one another with questions that are giving them difficulty and so on. It's very active, and it's moderated by myself and Miss Nyla, all right? So please do register them for that. And that will be it for us for today. We are going to take a break now, and we'll be returning at 6 p.m. with Miss Nyla, who will be taking us into the English language arts for today. All right, so I do hope to see you all tomorrow when I'll be reading some of your stories from creative writing in the second half of our program tomorrow, and also on Thursday again at 5 p.m. for mathematics, all right? I have been your host, Sir Ijaz, or your teacher rather, for mathematics, and do stay tuned. In just a few minutes at 6 p.m. we'll be back with English language arts. Good evening. Assalamu alaikum.
Sheikleisha Limited, the Caribbean's largest manufacturers of plain and printed paper bags. Leaders in plastic bags, vermicelli, split piece powder, and greaseproof paper. Ideal for doubles, french fries, and sandwiches. Supplying stores nationwide. For quality products, trust Sheikleisha Limited, 665-3336.
For the everyday lowest prices on all grocery items, trust Low Cost Supermarket for the widest variety of quality products at low prices. Freshly picked fruits and vegetables, healthy products for your well-being, high quality meat cuts, and a warm and friendly service. Low Cost Supermarket, Sun and Main Road, Cunupia.
Assalamu alaikum, good evening guys, and welcome to C Results. I'm Miss Nyla, and as you know, we are starting this week off. We just had mathematics and now we are moving on into ELA. I must say welcome to all of our viewers, whether you are joining us on the IBN TV channel 8 or you are looking at us on our live stream on Facebook via the C Results page or the IBN TV page as well. I know, I must remind you every week, we are moving closer to the SE exam. We have approximately 7 weeks, give or take, to finish, get ready for that exam. And for ELA, our progress so far has been, quite well. We almost completed, let me just tell you, section 1. So we looked at spelling, punctuation, and grammar. So grammar is what we spend majority of our time on. Right, we had so many things to go through in grammar, and I am happy to say that we have completed that. And what I want to do today, I just want to take a step back. We have to go back to section 1 a bit. Well, we are on section 1, but task 1, spelling. We just have a couple topics to look at, right? Nothing that we haven't done before or that you don't know about. We're just going to do like a refresher course, and then we are going to move on into section 2 today. Right, so let's get started. Let's get started with our section 1, spelling. Now, as you know, for spelling, we looked at quite a number of rules, that you may need to apply, but we have to look at homophones, homographs, and homonyms, as well as antonyms and synonyms, all part of spelling and may as well fall into vocabulary, right, which is your grammar section. Now, for homophones, I don't want to tell you that, specifically for spelling, that they will be testing homophones. But as you probably would have seen in some past papers that you've done, homophones, was tested, right? So you would say, you would come across words that same spelling, same sound, and so on. But I don't know, and I can't say for sure that they are changing it this year and probably years to come, right? But let me just say that we still need to know about homophones and everything that it entails, as similarly with homographs and homonyms and all the differences between these types of words. That's going to help you greatly in your spelling, of course, and not only in spelling, because everything that we do in ELA is closely linked and tied to our creative writing, right? So homophones, right? We did touch on this topic a bit. Like I said, we're just going to do a little refresher and quickly move on. So homophones, and you should know what that is, a pair of words or a pairs of words. We're just going to zoom up on the screen here a bit. A pairs of words that sound the same but have different meanings and different spellings, right? So that's what's important here. Words that sound the same but have different meanings and different spellings. We could probably just zoom in a little more, right? For example, if we have the words compliment and compliment. So compliment here with an I means to say something nice about someone or something, right? Like to give a compliment to your friend or probably your teacher or your parents, right? When you've seen them and probably look nice on that day. Compliment here with an E means something that enhances or completes, right? So it goes along with something else. So probably colors or anything like that, right? And another example, we have style and style. Notice you have style with an I and style with a Y, right? A style, right, with an I is a structure opening that provides people or passage over through a boundary via steps, ladders, or narrow gaps. So this is specifically for persons, right? This structure, this type of opening. And if you want to find out a little bit about that, probably first time coming across this word and like to use it in your writing, you know, just go ahead, find a definition, probably find an example of a sentence that suits you, and help yourselves. And then we have style with a Y, which means a design or make in a particular form, right? So you may have a particular style of learning, for example, right? So like I said, we're just going to do some reminder or recap or so on. So we have some sentences here, and all you have to do when you're calling, you have to read that sentence and give me the correct form of the word or the word that is suitable here, right? So we have a pair of homophones, and you have to give me the correct choice here. So number one, the lines are going to be open for you, so feel free to call us, help us out. The teacher counsels me about studying for exams, right? So you have to tell me which one of these words is correct here or appropriate and fits the sentence. First of all, you must know the meaning of each word. So counsels with a C-I-L-S or S-E-L-S, you must know the difference between the two. Number two, the ship has to berth or berth at the pier, right? Do you know the meanings of these words? The boys often won prizes in choral or choral speaking competitions. Number four, if that doesn't pique your interest, you can leave. And number five, he left the bride standing by the altar, right? So I'm going to give you all a minute to call and help me complete these 5 sentences. And I do have a call on the line, so I'm going to take this call. Good evening and welcome to See Results.
Hi, evening.
Hi, Nicholas. Good evening and welcome.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
For number one, right, the teacher counsels me about studying. So the counsel is C-O-U-N-C-I-L-S.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
All right. So what is the meaning of the next counsels?
I can't remember the next meaning of the counsel.
All right. So you're going with the first one?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm just taking your answer for now. I'm not telling you if you're right or wrong, okay?
Yeah.
Let's see if we have another caller who can help us with the same sentence. But thanks for calling. Okay, we have another caller on the line. Good evening and welcome to See Results.
Hello.
Hi, good evening. What's your name?
Andy.
Hi, Andy. So thanks for joining us today. For number one, let's take to number one a second. Which counsel do you believe is the correct word there?
The first one with an I.
With an I. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And what does the second counsel there mean?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure. Okay, all right. Thank you. All right. Thanks for calling, guys. So I'm going to give somebody else another chance there. Right? Let's see what our third caller has to say about number one. Now, it's important that you know the meaning of both of these words. And how can you guess the answer or give us the answer if you're not sure, right? This is why it's important to know your vocabulary and your spelling and so on. I have another caller. Good evening and welcome to See Results.
Hello. Good evening. Hello, good afternoon.
Hi, good evening. Welcome. What's your name?
My name is Nathaniel.
Hi, Nathaniel. So we're still on number one. What do you think is the answer for number one?
Counsel.
Yes. Which one of the counsels?
The second one.
Second one. Tell me why.
Because it's something to counsel somebody.
Right. So what does the first counsel mean?
A meeting.
a meeting, like with a meeting with a group of people, right? Like a council of students, right? Like a student council, right?
Yeah.
Thanks so much for calling and giving us your answer. Okay, so I hope our first two callers are paying attention there, right? And hope that you also learned a little bit of vocabulary. Now, if this word is new to you, probably not new, but you don't know the meaning, just as you said, I advise you, please get your dictionary and check the meanings, right? That's going to help you, I promise you. I'm going to take another call for number 2. Good evening and welcome to See Results.
Hi,
Hi, good evening. What's your name?
my name is Tanika Rosu. Answer number 2. The answer is B-E-R-T-H.
Yes, you are correct. But do you know the meaning of this word, B-E-R-T-H?
No.
Okay, can you guess in the context of the sentence here? So sometimes...
To lift.
Sorry?
To lift.
Can you say that again?
To lift.
To miss?
Yeah.
No. But thanks for calling. I'm going to share it afterwards, okay? Right. So I'm going to give you that meaning shortly, but I have another caller. Let me see if that caller can help us. Right, good evening and welcome to See Results.
Hi,
Hi, good evening. What's your name?
Leno.
Hi, Lionel. So number 2, let's just go back to number 2 1 second, right? The caller before did give us the correct answer, but I'm wondering, can you help me find, give us a definition of birth, B-E-R-T-H?
Yes, sir.
Can you give me the definition or the meaning of this word birth, B-E-R-T-H?
The meaning of that birth is meaning to be born.
No, not the second one, not B-I-R-T-H, right? The first one, B-E-R-T-H. Do you know that word?
Nope.
All right, no problem. Don't go anywhere. Help me with number 3 then. The boys have often won prizes in the choral or choral speaking competitions.
The answer for that will be choral with the C-H-O-R-A-L.
Yes, right? So C-H-O-R-A-L. What does the first choral there mean?
That choral means an animal in a theme.
Okay, yes. That is also correct there. Any other meanings?
No.
What about the color?
Hmm?
What about the color? Do you know the color choral?
Nope.
All right. Okay, no problem. Thanks for calling. Right, so I'm seeing so far that we have some students who need to do some work, right, on spelling and vocabulary. So I'm paying very close attention to that for my quiz this week, right? So look out for that. Good evening and welcome to See Results.
Hello.
Hi, good evening. What's your name?
Macarai.
Nice to have you with us, Makarai. So number 4, but before I go to number 4, let's go back to number 3 here. Do you know the meaning of this choral here?
Acquire. Like acquire. Which one do you see?
C-O-R-A-L.
An underwater organism.
Sorry?
Something.
Can you repeat that?
An underwater organism that makes up food.
Yes. Any other meanings?
A shade of orange.
Yeah. Are you using Google there?
Yes.
All right, no problem. So since you're using Google, tell me for number 2 here. B-E-R-T-H, what is the meaning of that word?
A place to sleep.
Say that again.
A place to sleep.
A place to sleep. Is that what you said? Are you there, caller? Okay, I'm not sure if I lost that call, but he was not correct quite, but almost there, right? Okay, we have another caller. Good evening and welcome to See Results. Hi, good evening. Welcome to See Results.
Hi.
Hi, what's your name?
Zaria.
Hi, Zaria. Thanks for joining us.
Okay.
So number 4. What is the answer for number 4?
If that doesn't pique your interest, you can leave.
Yes, which peak?
P-I-Q-U-E.
All right, and what does P-E-A-K mean?
That means the top of a mountain.
Yeah. All right, so good job so far. Don't go anywhere. Look at number 2. Can you help me with the meaning of BERTH?
That means
Take your time.
a place where boats is.
Yeah. Are you using Google?
No.
Okay. So you're close to that, right? It's right around there. But thanks for calling and sharing that with us. Right? Now, guys, if you are using Google, that's okay. That's how you are going to learn. Of course, you can't do it in the classroom and when you have tests, and we know for the SE exam, right? But for now, I'll give you a chance. I have another caller to help me with number 5. Good evening and welcome to See Results. Hi, caller, are you there?
Hello,
Hi, good evening. What's your name?
Joshua Barrow.
Nice to have you with us today. So, I'm going to ask you a question before I move on because I'm trying to find out this answer for the longest while. Number 2, what is the meaning? Sorry?
Telephone number 2.
Yes.
The name for the first bird.
Yes,
is
that's
to lunch.
correct. Is?
To lunch.
To lunch?
Yeah.
What do you mean by lunch?
Like when the ship, finish fixed.
Yeah.
And it just into the water.
Okay, all right. All right, close enough. And for number 5, what is the correct answer there?
The correct answer is a second altar.
Altar, are you sure?
The first. Sorry.
Which one? First or second?
First.
First, all right. So I'm going with your answer for now, right?
Yeah.
Thanks for calling. Okay, and I'm going to take one more call to help me with number 5. Let's see if our next caller agrees with this last caller here. Okay, I think we lost that call, but we just had a call there. But we do have to... Okay, hi, good evening. Welcome to See Results.
Hi.
Hi, good evening. What's your name?
Nathaniel.
Hi, Nathaniel. For number 5, which answer do you think is correct?
Number 1.
So the first altar?
Yeah.
All right, so you agree with the last caller, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. No problem. Thanks for calling. Okay. Right, guys, so I'm going to stop the calls there. We just had 5 sentences. When I come back after the break, and what you can do in the meantime, you can probably grab a dictionary, check out these words, right? And, find out the meaning of birth, B-R-T-H. If you're having doubts with the last one, altar and altar, find out the meaning of both of them. And number 1, counsel and counsels, or counsels and counsels, right? We have to take a break for the Maghrib Adhan, but join me back in a couple minutes, right, guys? Don't go anywhere. Assalamu alaikum, good evening guys, and welcome back to C Results. And if you're just joining me, welcome one and all. And right before the break, we started looking at homophones. Yes, we did homophones already. We're just doing a recap of some topics that we just need to revise to help us in spelling. And as we started the topic of homophones, I can safely say that we have students who definitely need to revise a bit, okay, with spelling and vocabulary for sure. So these are the 5 sentences we were looking at. Just before the break, we had a chance to answer all 5 of them. So let's just go through them quickly and see if they are correct according to our callers. So number 1, the teacher counsels me about studying for exams, right? So the correct answer here will be C-O-U-N-S-E-L-S, right? So that's like to give advice and so on. Here, counsel, C-I-L-S, is actually like a group of people for a meeting, right? Like a student council body, right? So the correct answer here is the second one. Number 2, the ship has to berth or berth at the pier. The first berth here, we had a lot of callers, you know, getting difficulty to give us the meaning of this word. Probably not as popular, right? And we don't use it. This berth here is actually, you can take it to meaning like a parking spot for a ship, right? So the ship has to berth at the pier. The pier here is our context clue, and here's a great teaching point. So if you are reading a sentence such as number 2, and you can't quite figure out the answer or the meaning of the word in that sentence, use your context clue to help you. You know the pier, right, is like a docking area where the ship will come to park. So in using that knowledge, what you can say, therefore, it's like a parking spot. So the correct answer here is B-R-T-H and not B-I-R-T-H, right? That refers to when you were born, of course. Number 3, the boys have often won prizes in choral or choral speaking competitions. Correct answer, choral, C-H-O-R-A-L, while this choral here is just like the organism in the sea or the color here, right? Like somebody said, a shade of orange. Number 4, if that doesn't pique your interest, you can leave. First peak here, somebody said correctly, like the peak of a mountain, right? The highest point. And peak here is like interest, right? You're interested in something. He left the bride standing by the altar. So this answer is actually correct. First altar here is like the church altar. And the second one is like to alter a dress, right? Something maybe too big or small for you, and you make a little change. So thanks for contributing there, guys. And let's move on to homographs, right? And homographs are words that are spelled the same but have different meanings. So again, they are spelled the same but have different meanings. Now pay attention to each type of word here that we are coming across, right? So for example, we know that there are words that spell the same but have different meanings. So we have produce and produce, right? So produce here to create or make fresh fruits. Sorry, produce here to create or make, right? So you're creating something, and the second meaning of that word could be like fresh fruits and vegetables. Here we have base and also bass, right? So you can pronounce it 2 ways, a deep voice or tone, and the second meaning there, a type of fish, right? So we have wind and wind, right? So the pronunciation is a bit different in some of the cases, as you are seeing so far. So wind is like moving air, and wind is like to turn. Refuse, right? This pronunciation of this word will remain the same. So it refers to waste or garbage, or you can refuse something, right? To reject or decline, or to accept, right? So you decline an offer maybe. Lead or led. To go first with followers behind, so that is the lead, and led, a type of metal. So pay attention to the words here, you know how they are spelled. They have different meanings, that is, you should be mindful of that, and some of them are pronounced differently, right? And I just have a short poem here that's going to reiterate the point of homographs, and it may even help you to understand it a bit better, right? So let's read, and you can probably infer the meanings, and we do have it for you there in brackets, right? But you can also as well. I have such a fit when these words don't fit, like when all through the spring, all the deer jump and spring, and the lions feel they might want to show I have such a fit when these words don't fit, like when all through the spring. All the deer jump and spring, and the lions feel their strength and might. When the monkeys swing from a vine like a swing, and the roar of the bear is too loud for me to bear. And I can't try to pet one since it's not a pet. I'm not trying to be mean, but what do these words mean? So it's not a poem like what you're accustomed to, a rhyme and poem. The point or the idea of this poem is to demonstrate to you, so you're just going to zoom up here again, the meanings of these words here as used. So they are homographs, right? Right? You can see there that they have different meanings according to the sentences, right? Again, in context, you will know which one of these to use. So, for example, spring can be a season, or spring can refer to bounce, right? For fit can be like a tantrum. Our fit is to match, right? So, look at this. You know, you can probably use this as an example if you have difficulty understanding homographs. It's just a little reminder for you. And here I have 4 pairs of sentences. Now, what you are required to do here, I want you to call me and give me the meanings of the words in the sentence, right? So you have to point out the homographs and then give me the meanings, right? So it's important that you know the meanings of these words. So, for example, Simon has very large pupils. Jessica is a star pupil in her drama class, right? So here we have the same word, pupils and pupil. So tell me, what does pupils here mean, and what does pupil in that second sentence mean? I have a call on the line to help me. Good evening and welcome to See Results.
Hi.
Hi, good evening. What's your name?
Andy.
Nice to have you with us. So number 1, we have pupils and pupil. Tell me the different meanings here.
The first one means like tablet, and the second one means like a student.
Okay, so Simon has very large pupils. What does that one mean?
Like a pill?
Like a?
Pill, like a tablet.
I can't hear you, sorry.
A pill.
A
or
pill?
A tablet.
Not quite. Any other meanings come to your mind there?
No.
All right. But what about the second one? You said Jessica is a star pupil in a drama class. And this pupil refers to a?
A student.
A student, right? So you are correct there. So you have 1 mark out of 2 for that number 1 question, right? But thanks for calling. Okay, I'm going to give somebody else a chance to help you with number 1. That first sentence in particular. Good evening and welcome to See Results.
Hello?
Hi, good evening. Thanks for joining us again. So number 1, Simon has very large pupils. What do I mean by pupils in that sentence?
He has very large buttons.
Sorry?
He has very large buttons, like pimples.
No. Not pimples. No, the word is not pimples, the word is pupils. Okay, think about your body. Think about your body. Where can you find pupils in your body, on your face?
The middle of your eye, your eye.
Yes. Thanks for calling. Right, so he is correct there. So number 1, Simon has very large pupils. That's part of your eye. And the second meaning there, like the first caller said, is a student, right? So good job so far, guys. Good evening and welcome to See Results. Good evening, welcome to See Results.
Hi.
Hi, good evening. What's your name?
Mohammed.
Hi, Naomi. Are you okay today?
Yes.
All right. How was school?
Good.
Good. All right. Ready for SCA?
Yeah.
Are you writing SCA this year? Are you there, Naomi?
Hello?
Yes, Naomi, are you there?
Yep.
Okay. Are you writing SCA this year, Naomi?
Yes, I am.
Okay, great. So number 2, when you get to the end of the road, turn left. She left the office at 5 p.m. So which pair of words am I looking at here?
Left and left.
Right. So what does the first left there mean?
The first left means right or left.
Yeah.
The opposite of right.
Right. And the second?
The other left means to leave.
Very good. Right, so thanks for calling, Naomi. Right, I'm just going to touch on the sentences once we have answered all four, right? So let's go. We had a caller there to help us with number 3. I think we lost that caller. Right, so let me just go back to number 2 there. When you get to the end of the road, turn left. And she left the office at 5. I'm just going to pause there and take this call. Good evening and welcome to See Results.
Hi.
Hi, good evening.
Hi, evening.
Hi, so number 3.
Yes, number 3, I think the boss was very fair in the way. The first fair means like you're certain, right? And the second fair is like a competition.
All right, just now, the first fair means what?
The first fair, if I've been fair with you, like I've been honest with you.
Or you're treating somebody fairly, right?
Yeah.
Okay, how you are treating them.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for calling.
Okay.
Oh my, we lost that, but Nicholas, please call us back and give us that very exciting news I think that you are about to give us, right, as you usually do. And number 4, I have a caller to help us. Good evening and welcome to See Results.
Good evening.
Hi, good evening. What's your name?
Andy.
Nice to have you again with us. And number 4 here, which pair of words will I be looking at here?
We have bows. The first bow.
All right, so
that bow
just
means
now,
like a hair,
just
like
now,
something you put in your hair.
you are correct, but give me a second. Will you pronounce this first one as bows? She
No,
always bows. That's correct. And the second one now, how will you pronounce that?
Bow.
Bow. That's correct, right? So that's what I wanted to point out to you there. So the first one refers to like a hair accessory, and the second one there is like what?
It's like to bow down when you finish something or to show a sign of respect.
Yes, that's correct. Thanks for calling.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Right. So we're just going to hold up on the calls there, and let's just go through these sentences or homographs. Right? So we already discussed number 1. We said the first pupil is there, part of your eye. Second pupil refers to a student. Secondly, when you get to the end of the road, turn left. This first left refers to direction, right? Like as in left or right. She left the office at 5 p.m. Left here is the past tense of the verb leave. Number 3, I think that the boss was very fair in the way he handled the dispute between the two sides. So fair here refers to treatment, right? Equally fair or just in general, how you would treat somebody, right? So describing the action of that person. She always wraps her presents with colorful bows. And this first bows, like we said, actually is not a hair accessory, my bad. I didn't read that sentence properly. But she always wraps her presents with colorful bows, like, you know, the little bows that you put on top, gifts, right? And the second one, Japanese people always bow to show respect. Like the caller rightfully said, it's just an action or movement that you do after you probably performed or something to show a sign of respect, right? So that's the end of homographs. Now we are on to homonyms. So we looked at homophones, homographs, and now homonyms. Now what are homonyms? Homonyms are 2 words that are spelled the same and sound the same but have different meanings. Again, they are spelled the same and sound the same but they have different meanings. So for example, pen. This can mean both a holding area for animals, like a horse pen maybe, and a writing instrument, pens that we use to write at school, right? And book, which can mean something to read or the act of making a reservation. So you're going for a holiday and you want to book a hotel, you can also use that word book, right? Sounds the same, spelled the same, but different meanings. And here are just a couple more examples for you to look at, right, and understand the meanings of. So address, to speak to, or location. So you can address an audience, right, or somebody asks you where you live, or ask you for your address, they're asking you your location. Back, the tree's outer layer, right, so that nice big brown rough layer out there, that's called the back. The sound of a sound a dog makes, circular, taking the form of a circle. So if you want to describe the shape of something, we can say it is circular in shape, or a circular, you know, like a store advertising something, advertisement, a circular would go out explaining, you know, what sale they probably have. Die, to cease living, right? We know what that means. The end of life. A cube marked with numbers 1 through 6, right? Like when we play Monopoly and so on, that little tool we use there. Fair, fair, just as in the sentence we read, equitable or beautiful, right? Or it can mean high complexion as well. Lie, to recline, or to tell stories, right? Or falsehood. Tell a lie to your parents about something you did or something like that. Bat. So it's an implement used to hit a ball. So when we're playing cricket, we'll say we are batting, right? Or a nocturnal flying mammal, also an animal. And current, up to date, or we can describe the current at Maracas Bay, the flow of water. So let's look at these here. Again, we have 5 sentences. You have to call and give me the meanings for the pair of homonyms here, right? So pay attention to that, actually. Yes, right? So I rose when I smelled the rose. Number 2, leaves fall off trees. So we have double off here, right? Or double F is the correct one. Leaves fall off trees in the fall. Number 3, so the lines are open. Feel free to call us. But, so number 3 is, you know, a little, not tricky, but I want to see, you know, how well you handle number 3. I'm going to take this call. Good evening and welcome to See Results.
Assalamualaikum, this is Shafia.
Welcome, assalam. So number 1.
Number 1.
I rose when I smelled the rose.
The first rose means when you get up.
Yeah.
And the second rose means the flower.
The flower, right? So that's correct. Thanks for calling. We have another caller. Good evening and welcome to See Results.
Hi, evening.
Hi, Nicholas. So number 2.
Okay, number 2, right? The fall is for the season.
Uh-huh.
That's the first one. And the second one is just on the first one.
Yes.
Is the one like the season, right?
You sure? Leaves fall off trees in the fall.
Just now.
Take your time.
Hold on. What you said?
Leaves fall off trees in the fall.
All right. One of them, right, is for the season.
Yes, that's right. But which one? That's important, eh?
Yeah. Just the second one.
Right. So the first one is what then?
Like the verb.
The verb to fall, right?
Yeah.
Very good, Nicholas.
Okay.
Okay. We have another caller. Good evening and welcome to See Results.
Hello.
Hi, good day. What's your name?
Andy.
Hi, Andy. So number 3. We have 3 of the same words here, actually. Let's see how you handle this one. Bat the bat away with a bat.
Well, the first bat is like to hit.
Right.
And the second one is like the actual animal.
That's correct.
And the third one is the, like when you're playing cricket.
The instrument that you use to hit the ball, right?
Yeah.
Excellent. Good job there. Right? So bat the bat away with a bat. Thanks for calling. We have another caller. Good evening and welcome to See Results.
Good evening.
Hi, what's your name?
Juliana.
Hi, Juliana. So number 4. Pound and pound. Why would I pound this pound of meat?
The answer is pound and pound.
Right.
The first pound means to hit something.
That's correct.
And the second one means like to measure.
Like the weight?
Yeah.
The weight, right? All right, that's correct. Thanks for calling.
Well.
Right, and I'm wondering how many of you do in fact know why we pound meat, right? If you don't know, is actually to tenderize, right? It's a method of tenderizing meat. Good evening and welcome to See Results. Good evening, caller. Welcome to See Results.
Hello?
Hi, good evening.
This is Samaya.
Nice to have you with us. So number 5. Point out a pair of words to me.
For one band
Right.
and band.
That's correct. Give me the different meanings.
So the band in the first sentence, the line. The first line is like a musician.
Like? Can you repeat that,
And
please?
the second line is the first line is musicians, like a bunch of musicians
Right.
play music.
Right. And the second band?
The second band is like a wedding accessory.
Yes, that's correct. Thanks for calling. Right, so good job there. First band, like a band of musicians. And the second band, so I'm going to read the sentence because we actually didn't read it. Before you look for a band to play when you walk down the aisle, you should shop for a wedding band, right? So that second band there is like a plain ring, what you are given on your wedding day. So here I'm just going to summarize for you what we did. We have the word type, and we are saying whether they are similar or how they are similar and how they are different. So we looked at homographs, homophones, and homonyms. We said that homographs are words, that spell the same, and they have different meanings and different sound, right, or pronounced differently. Homophones, they sound the same, but they have different meanings and different spellings. And homonyms sound the same and are spelled the same, but they have different meanings. So maybe you can take down this table if you wish and learn the similarities and the differences between these 3 types of words. So, right guys, so we are now on to synonyms, right? And we know that synonyms are words that are similar in meaning, right? Same or similar in meaning. So for example, confess means to admit, right? Convenient means handy. Generous means selfless. Accurate, correct, damage, hurt, crash, accident, fatigue, exhaust, feasible, attainable. So all these are synonyms, words that are same or similar in meaning, right? Again, we have 5 sentences. Feel free to call us. From the box on top, you just simply have to choose the correct synonym and apply it to the highlighted word. We have a caller there to help us already. Good evening and welcome to See Results.
Evening.
Hi, good evening. What's your name?
Powder.
Okay, so number 1, a rotten odor emanated from the dump across the street. So the highlighted word there is rotting. Can you give me a synonym for rotting?
A synonym for rotting is putrid.
Putrid. That's correct. Thanks for calling. Right, so putrid. We have another caller. Good evening and welcome to See Results. Hi, good evening.
Hello.
Hi, good evening. Welcome.
Okay, so I think the answer for... Hello.
Yes, I'm here. I'm listening.
So I think the answer for strong
Yes.
is powerful.
Yes, and you are correct. What's your name?
Andy.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Right, so she's correct there. Number 3, the swimming team was despondent after losing the tournament. I'm going to give it a few seconds for someone else to help me there. Number 4, the material was flexible. And number 5, mosquitoes breed in flowing water. Again, you simply have to look at the highlighted word or the word that is bold there and choose the correct synonym from the box on top. Good evening and welcome to See Results. Hi, good evening. Hi, caller, are you there?
Hello.
Hi, good evening. What's your name?
Hello.
Caller, are you there? Hello?
Hello.
Hi, good evening. What's your name?
Antonio George.
Hi, Antonio. So number 3, what is the answer there? What is your synonym?
The synonym for despondent is disappointed.
Right. Can you pronounce this word again for me?
Despondent.
Despondent. Despondent, right? Correct. So your answer is disappointed. Thanks for calling, Antonio. Right, so Antonio is correct, and it is in fact disappointed. Also, I just want to say, if you are having difficulty pronouncing any words, take your time, break it up into syllables, syllabicate your words, and you will be able to pronounce it, okay? That is key when you are reading and for comprehension, right? You must be able to pronounce your words, and of course, far more important, to understand what the word is saying. So number 4, the material was flexible. We don't have a caller there, so I'm just going to go on and give you the answer here, right? So it's malleable, right? And if you know this word, that's great. And if you don't, hit Google, right, guys? And I'm going to take this call to help me with number 5. Good evening and welcome to See Results.
Hi.
Hi, good evening. So we're on to the last sentence here. What is your synonym? Stagnant. You are correct, right? Stagnant. Thanks for calling. And I'm just going to read that sentence. Mosquitoes breathe in flowing water, right? Stagnant means the same or similar in meaning. And we have just about enough time to wrap up today's session with antonyms, right? And just as we just saw, synonyms are words same or similar in meaning. Now, antonyms are words that are opposite in meaning, right? For example, right, idle, the opposite will be active, or your antonym will be active. Attack, defend. Demand, supply. Individual, group. Partial, complete. Arrogant, humble, right? So, and in these 2 sentences here, are you going or staying, right? I'm giving you antonyms here, right? So somebody might ask you that, are you going or staying? Notice in that sentence, there are antonyms. Opposite of go is to say. Stay. Is that bread hard or soft? Again, opposite of soft, hard, and hard, soft. And we have 5 more sentences. Same instruction, just as for synonyms, you have to look at the highlighted word. Call us, read the sentence, and give me your antonym to complete the sentence, right? So let's look at the words in the boxes. We have talkative, nervous, silent, polite, seldom, gloomy, and afraid, right? Number 1, she always comes to school. And I have a caller there to help me. Good evening and welcome to See Results. Hi, good evening.
Hello.
Hi, what's your name?
Andy.
Yes, Andy. So welcome again. Number 1, she always comes to school. What is your antonym here?
Seldom.
What does seldom mean?
It means not often.
Very good. Thanks, Andy. Right, seldom. We have another caller. Good evening and welcome to See Results.
Hi, Evan.
Hi, Nicholas.
Okay, for number 2, right? My mother is cheerful when it rains. It's the opposite of that is nervous.
Nervous? Are you sure? What does cheerful mean?
Like you're happy.
Right. So if you're not happy, are you
afraid?
Afraid? If you're not happy, are you afraid?
Yeah.
Really? So if you're not happy today, am I telling you that you are afraid?
No.
Right. What am I telling you? If you're not happy, you are?
You are sad.
That's the opposite. And what's another word as synonym for sad from this box here?
Gloomy.
I don't have lonely there. Gloomy.
No, I said gloomy.
Sorry. Yes, Nicholas. It is gloomy. right? So the opposite of cheerful is gloomy, right? Gloomy is like sad or down. So thank you. Way to go, right? Number 3. Harry was very confident at the dentist. I'm going to give a caller a second there. See if we have any calls to help us out. And we do. Good evening and welcome to See Results.
Hello.
Hi, good evening. What's your name?
Well,
Nice to have you with us. Number 3. What is the antonym for confident?
nervous.
Nervous. Thanks for calling and giving us your correct answer. Nervous. So, Nicholas, this answer is actually nervous, right? And number 4, Alice is a quiet shopkeeper, right? And if you're not quiet, right, what does your teacher tell you sometime if you're talking a lot in class? Good evening and welcome to See Results.
Okay.
Hi, what's your name?
Andrea George.
Nice to have you with us. Number 4, what do you think is the answer?
The answer is talkative.
Talkative, you are correct. And as you are here, do you mind doing the last one with us?
Sure.
Okay. Billy's boss was rude to him.
I think the answer is polite.
You are correct, right? Thanks for calling and giving us your answers. So that's about it for calls today, guys, right? We looked at quite a number of things today, different word types, you know, that's going to help you with spelling and your synonyms and your antonyms. Of course, that's going to help you with your vocabulary and your grammar section and your creative writing. I will say for homophones especially and that section of word types, I noticed some students are having challenges with that, whether it's spelling or vocabulary. Please, guys, I'm urging you, you know, take this time and, you know, do that extra work. Try to figure out the meanings, spellings, and so on, right? It's really going to benefit you. Before I go, I must mention, for parents, if you would like your child to join our Edmodo class, visit our Edmodo page, www.edmodo.com. Enter this simple class code here and the instructions there for you. Just 3 quick steps for both registration of the parents and the students, right? Get them active, let them join the class, participate in that great community of students. You know, if you have questions you would like to post, anything like that, you know, it's really informative and the students there are really helpful. We do appreciate that. Right, and of course, there are the quizzes that we post each and every Saturday for you, right, in mathematics, ELA, and creative writing. And that's about it for today's episode, but let me just mention, you can rewatch this video on YouTube, on our See Results page on Facebook as well, right? So you have many avenues that, you know, if you missed an episode, you know, you can go back and look at it. And of course, right here on IBN TVA channel, we have recaps every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in the same time slot, right? So 5 to 7 p.m. So guys, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Tomorrow we have ELA and creative writing, right? You don't want to miss any of those. We are starting new topics tomorrow and moving on to section 2 in our ELA paper. So be sure to join us, right? And of course on Thursday as well, where we have creative writing and mathematics with Sir Ijaz. So I do hope you have a wonderful evening, complete your homework, get a good night's rest, and get ready for school tomorrow. Do have a pleasant evening, guys. Assalamu alaikum. Good evening.